Good morning. Today is Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. Welcome to Column Hinge at Alpha Omega. We're located halfway between Death Valley and Las Vegas, halfway between Joshua Tree and Area 51 in the Mojave Desert of the Southwest United States.
Good morning and welcome back to the Lost Magic of Jesus Revival. You have found us at the most interesting and unusual daily live stream ritual on the entire internet. What you're about to experience is an anthropological reconstruction of an ancient Christian ritual from the very first century AD. This is a magic ritual because in early Christianity, Christians practiced magic. That's before the Roman Church decided to diabolize magic, because they were having trouble converting people because people considered Jesus to be the greatest magician who ever lived. Took us hundreds of years having lost this incredible magic until anthropologists and archaeologists rediscovered it in Egypt in 1769 in two lost books of the Bible, the first and second books of Yahweh. Therefore, we have this beautiful reconstruction here and revival that we'll be doing this morning of the opening of the Treasury of Light from the first book of Yahweh. I'm Reverend David Griffin.
I'm Reverend Leslie McQuade.
And this is the Lost Magic of Jesus Revival.
The sun is the dispenser of light to the earth. May the living light of the God force inflame our souls with abundant life.
Our destiny lies amongst the stars, and to the stars humanity shall ascend.
Take a nice deep breath and feel into your body. Breathe deeply. Follow each breath as it moves through you. Follow, and as you are breathing deeply and feeling deeply into each and every part of yourself, visualize yourself as the tree of life, however it is you imagine that tree to be. And grow your branches up high into alpha sky. Drive your roots down deep into omega earth. I call on you in the east, alpha. I call on you in the west, omega. I call on you in the north, alpha. I call on you in the south, omega.
Alpha.
At omega.
The beginning.
And the end.
And the path of the age between. Sunrise.
And sunset.
And the path of the sun between. Birth.
And death.
And the path of life between. Alpha.
Omega.
Welcome back to Alpha Omega's Column Hinge Temple, as we celebrate the lost rites of the magic of Jesus Christ once again. This morning we'll be opening the 21st Treasury of Light from the first book of Yahweh. We begin by reaching out and contacting the angels in the invisible. Angels of the 21st Treasury of Light. The 10. Watchers, we know your names, so stand aside and grant us entry into the treasury. Ozaz. Ozaz. Eoes. Eoes. Azaias. Azaias. Let the watchers withdraw, and let us enter into the 21st Treasury of Light. And there are 12 heads in my Father's treasury. And these are the names that are in the places when they sing praises to my Father, and he gives light power to them. Shining angel, head in the place of the east of my Father's treasury, we call upon you by your secret name. Zo-zo-zai. Zo-zo-zai. Zoho-zai. Zoho-zai. To-za-zak-sai. To-za-zak-sai. Na-o-za-e-i-ai. Na-o-za-e-i-ai. Marazaz. Marazaz. Ozaez. Ozaez. Ozaia. Ozaia. Oza, Oza. Oza, Oza. Oshos, Oza. Oshos, Oza. Azaios. Azaios. Naya Ozaza. Naya Ozaza. Aenazaz. Nazas. And so we completed our journey through the places, invoking each of the 12 mighty angels, each head in its proper place and proper rank. And at length we came into the place of the midst, the place of the middle, the place of the Father of the treasure of light. O Father of the 21st treasure of light, by your cipher and by your name we invoke you, O IAOE I. Let the divine light descend. It is the intention of this ritual and our fervent prayer to establish human liberty worldwide.
Establish human liberty worldwide.
Abolish slavery in all its forms.
Abolish slavery in all its forms.
And set our people free.
Set our people free.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
And protect the integrity of our genetic code.
Protect the integrity of Homo sapiens' genetic code.
Restore the purity of our air.
Restore the purity of our air.
Of our water.
Restore the purity of our water.
Of our food.
Restore the purity of our food.
And our medicines.
Restore the purity of our medicines.
Restore the integrity of our elections.
Restore the integrity of our elections.
And to that end, let there be forensic audits of the 2020 election in all 50 states.
And to that end, let there be forensic audits in all 50 states of the Union.
All these things we ask in the name of the living Jesus. Amen.
Amen. So mote it be. Take a moment now to again feel into your body. This ancient magical rite we are doing together helps you experience more God Force energy within yourself. As you experience more God Force energy, so you have a deeper level of understanding of everything going on around you. You know, one of the most amazing things to me is that everything we see has so many different layers of meaning and significance. It's not just the surface meaning. There's almost always an underlying hidden meaning, a symbolic meaning, a meaning hiding behind. This is what is often meant when they say that it is the mysteries of life that make life interesting. And Jesus brought more mysteries than just those that already existed. Because what he showed us is that humanity is capable of divine action. He asserted that he was no different than the rest of us, that we all are equally children of God, just like the Master Jesus was, the Master Aberamento, the Master Christ. It depends on what you call him as to how he comes up in your mind. Everyone who is familiar with Christ consciousness understands that the goal of Christ consciousness is to become as close to the Master Jesus as possible. Now, some of my pagan friends have a problem with this. They have a problem with opening up to Jesus. And I did too. I really did. And that is part of the brainwashing, part of the cultural destruction. And part of that cultural destruction started even with the Romans, who are part and ancestry of the Western culture. You see, something unusual about humans is that we are self-domesticating. That means we are also self-harming. It's a small, it's a line that's very easy to cross, that line between keeping someone on track with domestication and being a good human being and being abusive. And you see, the Master Jesus understood this problem better than anyone else on earth ever has. And he understood it because he experienced it with us. And this is why Jesus said that we are all capable of being him. He went through, in his time period, exactly the same things that everyone else went through, including circumcision. So, when you say that you cannot rise to Christ consciousness, that is something that someone else has told you. That's not something that you actually believe if you look deep within yourself. And that's because when you take a deep breath of God force and you start cogitating on these things, when you start meditating on these things, when you start chewing on them, thinking about them, ruminating about them, there's lots of different ways to talk about that process of internal consideration, where you take a new piece of information and you work it around your mind with all the other things that you know, looking for the connections. What feels right? What seems right? What makes sense? And what made sense to me, when I actually took the time to read more than one translation of the Bible, because the King James translation is a historical document that has historical ideas encoded within it that are not necessarily applicable to our time. And so by reading several different translations of the Bible, especially the book of Matthew, is where I, as a witch, came to see Jesus as the greatest magician who had ever lived. Quite opposite from everything I had been taught as a child, which is why I bring it to you today. Because not everything we're taught as children is correct. We're taught that Santa Claus isn't real. Well, in flesh and blood, no. As an egregoric magical concept, yes. Same with the tooth fairy. Same with a lot of these things in our culture. They serve very important functions within our culture, and our culture would be poorer without them. But I'm talking about Jesus in particular because so many people, witches in particular, pagans in particular, have been brainwashed into believing that Jesus was an authoritarian who only wanted you to do things that were uncomfortable, and that's not at all the case. And I want to remind you of the wedding that Jesus attended. And when he attended that wedding, there wasn't enough to feed everyone there. And so to make people happy, to fill their bellies, he increased the loaves and increased the fishes. And again, to make people happy, he turned the water into wine. He didn't do it the other way around. He didn't turn the wine into water and tell them to straighten up and act like adults. No, he said it was a wedding. Be joyous, get drunk. Here, I will turn the water to wine so that you can enjoy yourselves. And that is what you should do. Jesus' teachings were to help us enjoy life more, not to cram us into another little box of have-tos and shoulds and oughts. No, he was here to free us, to explain that we're to have a good time, to enjoy ourselves, and that we have the capacity to make that happen. All we need to do is understand that this incredible gift has been given to us by our Father in the treasury of light. And when we absorb the light, we make ourselves lighter and brighter and shinier and happier, and all the good things in life come from this. This is what the Master taught, and this is what we believe. And this is why every chance we get, with a smile on our face, we take in another deep breath of God force.
Thank you, Leslie, for that beautiful and inspiring message on this magnificent Sunday morning. If you'd like to know more about the lost magic of Jesus, be sure to visit our church website at alphaomega.church. While you're there, be sure to visit our prayer wall and leave your prayer with ours, and we bring them daily to the angels. And also, while you're there, we ask that you consider leaving a donation. You'll find the donations button all over the website at alphaomega.church. Meanwhile, we'll be back here with you and for you again tomorrow in the hour of sunrise, just like today and every day. And until then, as always, have faith and expect a miracle.
And until we have the pleasure of each other's company again, may the God force run strong within you. And, as always, may your magics work better than expected.